Hey, good evening. We're here today with some legends from Brookston High School that played back football on that field, that gridiron. You're talking about legends that we have grown up to for the last 20, 30 years. To my left, I have Bobby Henry, Cedric Walker. To my right, I have LeBron Green, Chris Carter, and Raheem Elamine. Hey, good evening, fellas. How everybody doing?
Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, my goal as the AD is to bring knowledge back to Bruin football and all the great times I had at OW. Can you go by one and tell me your best experience at OW?
My best experience. I mean, my goodness gracious, we've had so many. But I would say the individuals that I was coached by, because those guys in itself were legendary men, and I'll be more transparent, powerful black men that provided a good insight, for us at that time, even as young black men, or better yet, just as young athletes. Period. So for me, I think my best experience was outside of the guys that I played with, but the individuals that actually coached us.
That sounds good. Mm-hmm. Mr. Walker?
One of my best experiences was just being able to play on that field. Growing up in Roosevelt Gardens, right behind us, just having an opportunity to come up, watch these guys play, watch the rest of them play, and then actually having a chance to play on that field myself. I mean, that was one of the best feelings in the world.
Oh man, good. Mr. Green?
Wow. First, I think I'm a little underdressed, but I'll tell you, just being a brand new Maroon and Orange, the pride, the guys that I played beside, we were just a team, and it wasn't about me, it was just about the accountability. I'm from Sunnyside, so I'm one of those guys who weren't expected to do a whole lot. By the grace of God and the thanks of the coaches that brought me along, just being able to wear that Maroon and Orange was just prideful for me, and that was my greatest experience.
I love that. Coach Carter, talk to me a little bit.
I think I share in the same thing what they said. Just being able to play on that field and play with a group of guys that play there. I mean, it's like something it just goes with you wherever you go. And no matter where you look at, you could be in a different city. I know when you hear that word Orangeburg, you kind of just respond.
Exactly.
Even when you look at things, just Orangeburg, as you know what that field meant to a lot of us, and it had some way to shape us, form us, to where we are today. So.
All right, Mr. Elamine, tell me a good story.
Good story. Basically, what I remember being a Bruin is just having an opportunity to be a part of an organization that represent pride, that represent commitment, that represent a lot of different things, and just being around young men and watch dreams unfold. So that was the best experience over the 4 years that I played here at OW, just watching dreams unfold and people living out their dreams and making things happen for themselves.
Yeah, for me, I was 11 years old, and my dream was to play football at OW, but I ended up leaving, moving to Columbia. But I remember seeing the Bobby Henry play and Cedric Walker. And so my thing, I wanted to wear their jerseys. I wore them 11 at Brooklyn Casey. I played football. I wore them 11. I wanted to be like Bobby Henry. So for me personally, him being one of my role models and mentors over the years, hey man, for me this is a dream. This is a dream come true for me to sit down with these 5 legends and this kind of grasp and remember those days of doing football. So now I'm gonna make y'all uncomfortable right now. All right. This episode is about who's the best Bruin in certain positions. Episode 2 is about offense. Now I'm gonna start off with kickoff and punt return. My selection is Nathaniel Pitts. Pitts, number 4, right? I mean, you talking about this kid? It's like every time the ball kicked to him, he built that wall on the right side of the field. Guess what? Pitts going down, touchdown, number 4.
Okay.
Now that's me. So now we go start with you, and you let me know what you think.
You talk about kick returner and punt returner. First of all, there had to have been someone who had a skill set of being a playmaker.
Okay.
There were some guys that I was able to watch. There were some guys that I was able to play with, and there were some guys I was able to coach. So for me, it's threefold. But if I had to say there was a kid that was the best kick returner and punt returner, I would probably choose Arturo Freeman.
That's tough.
That kid was just a playmaker. When the ball got in his hands, you knew that it was a potential
good
that
stuff.
something big was going to happen. So I just on surface level, I would have to choose a two or three.
That's a good one. I mean, two, we played basketball together at Belleville.
Yeah.
What you got, Walker?
During the time that I was coaching, one of the most dynamic punt returners and kick returners we had ended up playing for University of Georgia, Tim Jennings, number 21. When Tim touched the ball, you know, if he had good blocking, yeah, he scored a few touchdowns. So I would say Tim Jennings.
What you got?
Wow. Now, I want to go. I like Arturo. I like both of these guys' choices. And I'll tell you, one of the guys that I played was a guy named Rocky Bruin.
Yeah.
Rocky was a punt returner for us. He also played corner. Okay. Rocky didn't have the speed or the cuteness that these two guys you're talking about. But Rocky understood the game and ran. He followed. We ran sets, return sets. And so Rocky would probably be my third guy after you first two.
Okay.
What you got, Carter?
I tell you, for me, when you start naming the best of OW, I just think that's so hard because it's like, I think it's like LeBron, Jordan, it's eras.
Yeah. There you go.
Yes, sir. You know,
That's good for
I can't.
That's political.
I really can't name because there's so many of them.
That's political. You the head coach.
Yeah.
Football coach now.
That's an era.
Yeah.
There's an era involved in it.
He get that group chat that form. Right? He got to play safe. So I'm saying.
He need all of them.
So he playing a little safe.
Hey, and they got kids now too, so you know the kids building.
But I like what Coach Carter said. During my era, I would say 4 years of watching, and then 4 years of playing. I would have to go with Arturo Freeman. Watching Arturo, I was in middle school and had an opportunity in ninth grade to play with him. It was just amazing. You pretty much knew you're looking for a touchdown every time you touch the ball.
That's cool.
So during my era, 92, 97, I think the best punt return and kick return was number 8, Mr. Freeman.
Okay.
That's about it.
So I chalk that as a big for Arturo. All right. Now I'm going to touch home now. All right, I'm going to touch home a little bit. You got 3 quarterbacks sitting on this panel. All right. So you talking about quarterbacks. All right. Now mine will be a little tough. So I'm going to wait hold mine to the last.
No, that ain't fair.
I'm going to hold mine to the last. This is him, what you got for the quarterbacks at OW.
Oh my God.
And you can pick yourself. That's number 11.
No. I wouldn't pick myself. I mean, when you look at overall body of work, it's a toss up between Willie Danson and Otis Sally. And no disrespect, because Coach Green was a great quarterback within his rights. But just, you know, and even myself and Sid, you know, I started one year, but then the very next year, Sid came in and said they North-South All-Star. So again, his body of work in one season
He's tough now.
Yeah, still limit him, you know, to do what he's able to do, but just overall body of work. It's a coin flip for me between Otis and Woody.
And people understand Otis Sally. I mean, go ahead, Walker.
Otis was a different type of quarterback. Otis was a quarterback. You know, I mean, he was a fullback,
Running back,
a linebacker.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you wanted to put in there. I mean, his aggressiveness. I mean, I literally saw him run over people during the game.
Tough.
You know, and you know, the offenses back then, you know, we didn't run the spread offenses. So we didn't throw the ball like that. We ran the ball a lot. Otis Sally, I mean, he was a running back, but he played quarterback, and I mean, but he also had a cannon too now. Now Otis could throw the ball 60, 70 yards easily, you know. So at that particular time, you know, I would have said Otis Sally, but then of course, when the offense changed, you got to go to Woodrow Dancer. I mean, the stats Woody put up. I mean, right now, no one here can even touch those stats. Yeah, so I mean, it really is. It's a toss up between those two.
Mr. Green, what you got for me?
I am.
And you can say yourself, Coach.
It wasn't about me. I mean, I was surrounded by a great group of guys. I work with Otis. I work with Bobby. This guy sitting in my left hand, I was a heck of a quarterback.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. And when you look at, again, bodies of work, I also like Joe Major.
Yeah.
Joe Major was a very competitive guy. And I think if I were going to just give the mantle to someone, it would probably be Otis as well, because as said earlier, Otis was also a heck of a competitor.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and very cerebral. I mean, and so when you're in the quarterback spot, we asked Otis to do some things. He made some calls. I was calling audibles at Southmore High School. Otis called audibles as well. So you had to study, you had to understand the game and know the game to be able to do that. So for me, he'd probably be my choice, number one as well.
Yeah.
Carl, what you got for me? Now, listen, don't be biased. Now, listen, this is a podcast for former Bruin athletes. They're gonna watch this stuff. So my thing is, you lose no money.
Here's my thing. I saw Henry play, I saw Walker play, I saw Sally play, in that era. And all of them were good in that era, like 80, 88, 89, would it be 90, 89?
Yeah.
And then I think Otis 87.
Yep.
I mean, it's before.
Back to back.
The thing about it, you look at the talent, then as I started doing research, I started reading, and I saw your stats and what you did. Then I saw what JoJo Major did, and I started seeing all these quarterbacks. But the one thing I can say with Walker and him, fast, they were fast.
Yes, sir.
And we won with both. We won. The thing the difference I say with Otis, like you said, was he a 4-year starter? 3 years?
4 year.
4-year starter.
On varsity?
Yeah.
And I remember him one day we was getting ready for a game. He had the flu, and they were giving him orders. She was trying to get him ready to play. He was like just barely, just could barely do whatever he had to do. But he went in the game, and it was like a Michael Jordan kind of thing. Option, getting hit down the sideline. And I just recall as a freshman, one of the games we were in, he went to the line, and he told the defensive tackle Greenwood, "We running the beep ball right here." And he took the fake, and he boom, ran straight over.
Right.
So
That's right.
I mean, he was one of those guys in practice. You ain't want to tackle. He gonna punish you.
Because that would mean I don't know who your snitching is, but go ahead.
Well, I gotta get my spill. Just following Bruin football probably around 91, 92. Had opportunity to watch David Ray. Had an opportunity to watch Eddie Schuler. Patrick Sharpison. And then Woodrow Dantzler is my time era. But I'm gonna have to go with my classmate. Mr. Woody Dantzler was probably one of the most complete quarterback. And plus, I would say he transformed high school football. He transformed college football, and for someone to, in the third game of his sophomore season, to go from an option offense to a spread offense, the third game of the season, that's just amazing. And he wrote set records. And football today, what we see today emulates what he did in 94, 95. So definitely Woody Dantzler gets my vote. And he's my classmate, made me look good. And
speaking of Woody Dantzler,
so you got my vote. Woody came by last week, and he was in town, gave me a text, got him into the school, and did a really good job mentoring some kids, talking to some kids.
That's all about.
And it's not even about football for him anymore. It's not even about football. It's about life. So he's giving back to our school. So just keep coming back.
Man, that was a good one. All right, now this is a tough one too. Wide receivers. Okay, receiver wise, man, for me is Arturo.
You didn't give us a quarterback though.
Oh, Sal. He's on the Sal. I'm gonna tell you why. I remember going to South Carolina State games, right? He was number 11 at state. I think he played 1 year there, 2 years?
Otis 2 years.
2 years. But he had the ball off, but you know who had the ball? He was that smooth. He didn't know who had the ball. So my pick is so oversized.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going to receivers. Okay. So Mr. Henry, what you got?
You always start with me first.
Okay, you gonna know element. All right. Element. My fault. You gonna element receivers. My fault. We're gonna receive.
I tell you what, I just don't have one receiver.
Oh, you give me 3 or 4.
Just thinking back. First of all, I played a little bit of receiver myself.
Okay.
But I don't think I was the best.
No.
I don't think I was the best. But I want you to capture that on video. I did play receiver. But definitely, my senior year I probably had about 10. We was throwing 67 times a game.
Yeah, okay,
Man,
man.
man, don't tell me.
So
He might have been a tight end now.
He was on the weird side, huh?
He won number 97.
97.
Okay, so
He wasn't able to Z.
Okay.
So my time
I
here,
coached him.
it definitely came from the spread offense era. Watching Bernard Kidd, he was probably my favorite to watch Bernard Kidd run his routes, and two-row Freeman, and then definitely I would say Devron was pretty good.
Yeah.
So top 3, two-row, Bernard Kidd, Devron Hopper.
Bernard Kidd, we grew up together in Corona apartments, so yeah, I call him Sam.
Okay.
Bernard Kidd. What you got, Carter?
It's a couple of them, but with us, the first name came to my mind was Kevin Jameson. They called him Lucky.
Yeah, you're right.
He was probably Lucky about 5'8", but he could catch it like
Tough as nails,
and
too.
tough as nail across the middle. Catch anything you threw at him. And then the next guy, I thought, he probably goes into tight ends, but Larry Jameson was pretty good also. Kevin Jameson was just something special.
Okay. I heard that name in a long time. What you got, Cole?
Oh, I got 3 of them.
Okay.
3 of them played with me. 2 of these guys have played professional baseball. Herm Whittingham and Mike Sharpson.
Oh, Whittingham played receiver?
Oh yeah. Now Herm was a punt returner. He returned kicks as well, but just a blur. We were watching film one day, and this was an 8mm film, and Herm made a cut. And he just became a blur. And so those 2 guys. Mike had great hands. Herm had great speed, and Ray Bonaparte ran great routes.
Okay.
We call him Turkey. Great routes who could catch it. And so for me, I'm gonna be biased on this one.
Yes.
Just because those guys. And we didn't throw the ball much. We ran the pick. We ran through lots.
Exactly.
So when we threw it, you
Yeah.
had to catch it.
Yeah.
So, but
Exactly.
those are my guys.
All right, what you got, Walker?
Looking at stats and from what I saw, Jackie Robinson stands out to me. When I think my first year coaching was Jackie's senior year, and actually seeing Jackie play, I was like, oh man, if you threw it, if you threw it in his area, he was going to catch it. So I say Jackie Robinson.
That's a good one. What you got, Coach?
And so Sid beat me to the punch. I actually should have went first this time. but Arturo and Devron were dual threat athletes. Okay, Jackie was a pure receiver. That's all he did.
That's it.
And like Coach Green said, for many years, OW was quarterback and running back oriented. That's it.
Yeah.
And they won with defenses and offensive managed balls and third. It didn't happen until really Coach Brown got here. But that spread started coming about because you had a quarterback like Woody and some other guys. And Jackie came during that era where I don't care about him. You know this. He was the go-to guy.
Jackie was.
Now Jackie wasn't a 4-2 guy, but he kind of reminded you of Jerry Rice. He gets open.
Yeah, football speed.
He has football speed, and he was just just silky smooth with it.
Clemson, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
So my choice would be Jackie Robinson as a pure wide receiver. Okay, Arturo and Devron were just dual threat athletes.
Yeah, let me tell you something. It shows OW history, man. It's unreal.
It is.
You be all day long talking football about this position, and man, you just can't come with this clear-cut player. So that's how it's about. So last one, running backs. And we start with Coach in the middle.
That's fine. Yeah.
We start with Coach, running back.
Wow. Now, see, for me, this is I can give you as I coached here, I had a couple running backs who were really good. Ronald Darby, Dave Darby, and I played with 2 two guys that play behind me, Anthony Reed and Matt Reed. And Matt Reed. So I'm going to wow, that's a
tough one.
That's a tough one, just because these guys were when you sit and you look at it. Anthony Reed, Wood State College, had a great career.
Yes, sir.
Just one heck of a guy. We played at State College. He was we called him C-Train. Al Gardner was another one who played running back. He was a kicker. Al played tailback. I guess, but if I had to, when it came down to just pure bread money, I'm gonna put it in C-Train's hand. I'm gonna ride him in. He's going to take it. I'm gonna take it. So Anthony Reed would probably be
Okay. Well, what you got?
Now this one, I really do have to spread it out amongst a few players. First of all, I played with Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas was a different type of running back. I think Derek Thomas all region 2-3 years started smooth. I mean, just smooth. You give him the ball, he's gonna get the yards. Okay. Next, Ernest Googe.
That's who's first name?
Anthony Googe.
I was calling his name too.
Anthony Googe he was just blazing fast, but he was big as a linebacker.
Stephen Davis type.
Yeah, definitely. And then last one, and Hemby knows about this one, Gregory Duxon. Gregory Duxon, and not many people know about him, but Gregory Duxon he was a Barry Sanders type running back.
You're right.
He really was. I mean, you gave him the ball, and I mean, some of the cuts he made, it was just ridiculous. They didn't play a whole lot of years, but he had a dynamic impact the 1 year he played.
That's amazing. Brian, tell me what you got.
Oh wow, during my time, running backs were obsolete.
Exactly.
So they were receivers.
So just going back, I have to give it out to Anthony Googe. That's just somebody that I just couldn't wait to see what he was going to do on Friday nights. So Anthony Googe is my vote.
You got Coach Embiid.
So say it again. He's still my thunder. But a litany of names: Greg Duxon, Anthony Reed, James Darby. My choice for pure running back would be Ronald Gardner.
Yes, sir. Little body dynamite.
Sure. Hey,
you got it done.
He wore number 20 and short the pass be shaking.
Yes, sir. Dynamite.
Hey, and guess what? They ran toss left, toss right. That's it. Sometimes the option pitched that ball, but again, when it touched his hands, they had a chance to go to the outside.
And then you look at Googe. If you pitch the ball to him right, he's down the sideline.
Yes.
So it's like I can almost stretch it out between all those guys. And then we usually talk about Anthony Reed, Kwame Buttrey, Richard Pratt.
Yes, Kwame.
Who's your?
My running back. I'm Googe all day long. You gotta understand my time. My dad was Googe at Bennett at the time. So that's what we saw with Googe. When I got to BC. That's killed us.
Okay, well, you put us on the spot. So
Always. Right. I was a host. I got to make sure I'm good. But in the offensive line, it don't make it. If you don't have an offensive line, you can't do nothing. The quarterback, running back, receiver, nothing. So for the lineman, who y'all got as your best lineman?
Alex Barron. Keep on moving.
Alex Barron?
Alex Barron, my vote.
Yes,
Alex Barron.
Anytime.
Listen, I had 5 guys that played in front of me. Now, and I had a center, Boyd Plum, who was he fought William Perry for a whole night. And I'm about to tell you, I mean, Boyd Plum, and I can remember Perry hit me one time, and I got back in the huddle. Plum, I want to feel him no more tonight. So I got him no more.
Come on, that's
I hadn't touched him some, but you got Mike Brandt, Joe Thomas, Ivan Kitten, David Goins, all of those guys. Those were the guys that were from me with Steve Lucas with the tight end. I got to give those guys different.
You talking about Steve Lucas? You talking about
yes,
Sterling?
Yeah. I mean, those guys, they protected me, so I'm not going to choose one. I'm going to take all of mine.
He'll call me tomorrow. He's on the park. He'll call me. Hold on, I need a job. You heard my name. I deserve a job. I got the Steve.
So I actually have an addition. I actually have an addition to that. Now, Bobby Hemby had the good fortune. He had a senior laden offensive line. I mean, bunch of studs, And then the next year, You know,
Yeah.
I had
I was about to say,
I had a group.
We had a
you
bunch
know,
of blue collar guys.
Exactly. Yeah, we had new guys, but the one that I remember now, Alex Barron is 1A, but 1B would definitely be Chris Hampton. And I mean, Chris Hampton, as a sophomore, you know, he started for us, and he was intimidating as a sophomore. You know, real quiet guy, but I mean, when he got on the field, you know, he was our strongest lineman. So I'd say 1A, of course, Alex Barron, 1B, Chris Hampton.
I got a 1B too. Yeah. Just thought about it. Paul West.
Paul.
Being a
Paul.
young guy and watching Paul West play and his tenacity and his being a bully out there on that field.
Strong joke.
But definitely he was very strong. So Paul West will get my 1B vote.
I want to add Choo Choo.
Yeah, Drew Perry. Drew Perry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He went to UNC and they turned him to a defensive outside
Yes, sir.
linebacker.
Yes, sir.
But he was a solid lineman.
Yes, he was. Chew with
But he played both sides. And again, I apologize because I mean, you forget about Bradley Evans.
Yeah.
Bradley was a heck of a center now.
Yeah.
You know, and then Corey Haynes. You know,
Yeah.
Corey was a solid offensive lineman. You know, you're talking about guys coming out of high school, highly touted for just being a offensive lineman.
Derek Butler. Yeah.
Big guy. You know, another guy now. So yeah.
Man, as y'all see, they go all day long naming players, and that's what it's all about. This podcast is to inform and let the people know if we forgot about you. You know, we forgot about you. You know, you on that field. Remember those glory days. They don't feel recognized and remembered. And that's our job to do here, though. Once again, appreciate it. Thank y'all, fellas. I think it's a great show, episode 2. Once again, we thank you. Bruin Podcast. We out.